Here with Credit Suite. Today we're going over 10 different ways to get a credit line for your business even when you cannot get a loan at your bank. Credit lines. Credit lines are the most commonly requested funding product that we deal with. A lot of people would rather have access to credit lines than they would for loans for a lot of different reasons that we'll kind of go over today. But the problem with credit lines is they're pretty tough to get. Even though most people want credit lines, they're one of the hardest types of business financing programs that you can actually access out there. So thanks for coming in. Appreciate everybody joining me. So let's go to the blackboard, I should say, today, because we are operating off a chalkboard. So again, when we're talking about a credit line, what we're ultimately talking about here, Jerome, welcome. We're talking about an agreement between a lender and a borrower setting a max amount to be borrowed. So with the credit line, you're given an amount like $50,000 and that's the max you can borrow on that credit line. Now these business credit lines have a ton of advantages, including flexibility. Hey there, Glow, thanks for coming in. They're flexible because you can use them, you can reuse them. You only pay interest. Hey, welcome, Jerome. Thanks for coming in. You're only paying interest on what you actually owe, okay? But again, they're rare and hard to find. They're tough to qualify for. So the bottom line is people like credit lines. Hey, thanks for coming in. A lot of people like credit lines because of the flexibility, because of a couple things. First of all, you're only paying on what you use. Unlike a loan, let's say you know you're going to need 50 grand for your business, but right now you only need 5 grand. Well, when you get a low, first, thanks, Glow 6, thanks for coming in with the super hearts. So if you get a loan, you have to get what you need. And if you need more than that, then you're paying interest on what you don't need. So let's say you want 50 grand for the business, but you only want 5 grand now. Well, if you get a loan, well, then the problem with that is that you have to pay payments on the whole 50 grand. But with a credit line, you could get a credit line for 50 grand, put 5 grand on it, and only pay payments and interest on what you use. The other best part about a credit line is you could put a balance on there, pay the balance down, and reuse the credit line. So because of this flexibility, this is why so many people prefer credit lines over any other kind of financing for the business. The problem is they're very hard to get. In most cases, you need really good credit and you need tax returns that show profits for 2 to 3 years to even qualify. Bottom line, you can't get approved typically unless you're a very well-established business. But today, I'm going to give you 10 different ways you can get credit lines even when you can't get them at your bank, which means even if you don't have extensive financials, even if you don't have really good credit, a lot of these options we're going to talk about today will still work really well for you to get a credit line. We're even going to talk about credit lines you can get as a brand new business, not one, but multiple credit lines that can actually work for you even as a brand new business. So let's get to the chalkboard. The first one we're going to talk about today is available through a lot of banks. It's called SBA cap lines. And these are used to basically meet what they call short-term cyclical needs. Now, just like all SBA loans are available up to about $5 million, and there's all different kinds you can get. There's 5 I just mentioned here. There's ones called seasonal cap lines. These are based on seasonal industries. So industries that are busy, let's say in the winter, like maybe you sell snow gear or you're an actual ski resort. Well, that works really well for you because you're busy during the ski season. You're not busy the rest of the time. It's for seasonal industries. An SBA contract line is perfect for contractors, people that are plumbers and electricians and maybe work for builders where they don't get paid for a while, so they need money to float themselves until they get paid, for example, builders. So contract credit lines are perfect. Builder credit lines are great for actual builders. So builders can get the money they need to build the home to pay contractors while they're actually waiting for the home to be sold and to collect their money. Jazzy D, welcome, man. Thanks for coming in. And it's too confusing of a name. Welcome, first day on Periscope. Okay, so there's a builder credit line and more. So there's 5 different kinds of SBA cap lines. If you ever want to get a credit line from your bank, you're going to be issued one of these. It's called an SBA cap line. There's 5 of them. I just briefly went over 3 of them. So this is a great option to consider. The only problem with SBA cap lines, rates are low. The only problem with them is that they're harder to qualify. You need 2 to 3 years of tax returns. You need pretty good credit to get approved. Now, SBA Express has other credit lines too, and this works really well. Okay, if you're getting a loan over 25 grand, you need collateral, but you don't if you're getting a loan under 25 grand. SBA cap lines, in a lot of cases, are going to want credit lines. With the SBA Express, it's a faster way to get money under 25 grand. You don't need any kind of collateral. Okay, now you can get up to $350,000 as a credit line with this program, and you're going to ask you for extensive documentation. So I'm going to give you a lot of options here that are even no doc. But these two are fantastic if you have a well-established business, a business that has tax returns for 2 or 3 years, and you have pretty good credit, 680, 700 or higher. These two can work really well. Let's say you don't have that. Well, then you might want to go to private investors. There's another kind of credit line out there through private investors where you could usually get $50,000 to $250,000 on these credit lines. They do want you to have good personal credit, and they will ask for tax returns, but their requirements aren't as stringent as what you're going to find here with SBA. Bottom line, you can get these even when you can't get bank loans. What they're typically looking for is no recent derogatory items on your credit report, a pretty good credit score of about 720 or more, and again, full documentation. They usually want a profit and loss statement, and they usually want about 2 to 3 years worth of tax returns for this. So these are 3 if you have good credit. And again, we're going to talk about a lot of options here if you don't have good credit. But if you do have good credit and you have financials and you've got some collateral, these two can work pretty well for you. If you don't have collateral, the SBA Express under 25 grand can work pretty well. If you've got good credit and pretty good tax returns, but you're not strong enough to get a bank financing, well, then you probably want to go through a private investor because these are easier to get than the bank loans. Now, here's another one that's not even based on personal credit. So no matter how bad your personal credit is, even if you're a startup, even if you don't have collateral, you can get approved. Okay, you're using your existing inventory to qualify for financing. So all you need is you may have a desire to purchase inventory, or you may already own inventory you're borrowing against. And in doing so, you can get rates of as low as 5%, get $500,000 or more. All you need to have is existing inventory or be looking to buy inventory. And this is not based on consumer credit. So even with horrible credit, you're still able to come in here and qualify for this inventory financing credit line. Now, another option that works even with pretty good credit is unsecured business financing, what are called consumer cards or lines. Now, they will approve you for more money if you have a 680 score, but you'll still get approved with even as low as a 650 score. And they're just looking for less than 5 inquiries on your personal credit. You can even have a bankruptcy on there. They don't want your credit cards to be over 60% utilization. Now, these are business or consumer credit cards, but the finance source will help you actually use these as credit lines, which means you could take all of the cash out. Now, on these this is phenomenal because you could typically get 5 to 8 times the amount of your highest credit limit account you have now. That's very rare. Usually if you go to get a credit line or a credit card, they're only going to give you whatever the cap or the max credit card limit that you have now is. And thank you guys very much for the hearts and the super hearts. I love that. It's awesome. Okay, so that's the issue. But with these, you can come in and you can get credit cards, 5 to 8 of them, and they'll let you take the cash out on them, and a lot of them have 0% rates. So you get 0% rates, you get 5 to 8 times the amount of money you usually get from a loan or credit line or credit card, and you can take the cash out, giving them credit line capability. They're kind of like hybrids. You get the benefit of credit cards where you get 0%. You get the benefit of credit lines where you can take the cash out, and you really get the best of both worlds, which is pretty cool. Now, one of my personal favorites is number 6. Is kind of like what we just talked about here. But number 6 is called unsecured business financing, or we call it UBF. This one, these accounts only report to the business credit reporting agencies. So what's happening is you're building your business credit. There's no effect on your personal credit because the accounts don't report on your consumer credit reports. This is a problem because is that 30% of your score, well, I'll show you. Consumer credit scores based on utilization. So utilization, 30% of your total FICO score. That's what your FICO score actually looks like right there. So that means a third of your consumer score is based on utilization. So if you get business credit cards, that report on your consumer credit report, and you owe any balance on them at all, especially over 30%, you could really damage your utilization, which affects nearly a third of your whole consumer credit score. Well, with unsecured business financing, these only report on the business credit reporting agencies. They only report to Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian. So what happens is they don't report on your consumer credit and don't affect your FICO score at all. Instead, they're building your business credit scores with Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, and Equifax. So you're building business credit. And in building business credit, there's all kinds of credit accounts you're able to get without a personal guarantee and without a personal credit check. So what happens is these cards report to Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian. They build your business credit. Then you can start getting one of these are real approvals from people here on Periscope that follow us. These kind of accounts, $20, $30, $40, $75,000 limit accounts without a personal guarantee, without a personal credit check. So with this program, you're building your business credit, no effect on personal credit. They don't report there. You're again getting 5 to 8 times the amount that you can usually get on your own. You're getting 5 to 8 credit cards with credit line capability, which means you could take the cash out on these. Your utilization has to be below or is below 40%, and you need a 680 FICO score to be able to actually qualify. And I don't have any. If you guys have any comments, I don't have any comments coming in just so now. Sometimes I can't see them. Sometimes they don't come in. You need less than 6 inquiries in the last 6 months. And you're basically going to, and there's no accounts on your consumer credit reports. You just need to have some kind of open revolving credit card now. A great program. Now, if this program or the rest of them makes sense, and again, we've got more to come here, then just give us a ring. We'll gladly talk with you more. And we can even get you pre-approved with no inquiries on your credit report to see how much you can actually get approved for. You can go right here and give us a call to find out. So I love this program. It's one of my favorites for a reason. You get 0% interest rates for 6 to 18 months. You're getting 5 to 8 times the amount of money you'll get on your own. These are credit lines that you could take the cash out on. You could be a startup. You don't need collateral, and it's no doc. There's no bank statements. There's no tax returns required for approval on this. Hello, thanks for coming in. So this is a great program, and you build your business credit at the same time. Love this. Now, another one is an unsecured line of credit. With this one, you can get $50,000 to $150,000 from alternative lenders. You need a P&L statement. You can get approved with tax returns only, and you need pretty good personal credit to get approved for it. But it's a great option that's much easier to get approved for than what you're going to find with SBA. Now, a second of my favorite programs is right here. It's called Account Receivable Credit Line, or also Revenue Lending. Hello, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. So you need $100,000 in revenue to typically get approved. I just had them on a webinar yesterday, and what they said was even in 3 months in business you can qualify. All you need is some kind of revenue or some kind of account receivables. If you have either one of these, you could typically get approved. And all that happens is the lender does an automated approval where they plug into either your bank account or your accounting software, and then they look at that, they scroll that, and automatically make a lending decision within 1 to 2 hours, and you fund the next day. You can get up to $10,000, or excuse me, $100,000, that's a misprint, and rates are as low as 0.5% to 7% per week outstanding. Bottom line, if you over 24 weeks, your rate's less than 5% on this credit line. One of the lowest rates credit lines I've ever seen. Guys, there's no consumer credit check with this. None. They don't pull personal credit. They don't pull business credit. All they do is plug in and do an automated review of your business bank account or your accounting software. They don't ask for tax returns. They don't ask for bank statements. This is another one of my favorites because it's one of the easiest to get approved for. And you have some kind of consistent revenue. If you have some kind of AR, well then go to creditsuite.com/fundbox and you can get an immediate approval. creditsuite.com/fundbox. And if you go there, you fill out a little bit of information, there's no credit check, and you can immediately get approved. It's definitely worth checking out. Also keep in mind, if any of these make sense, feel free to give us a call. We'll talk to you more. We never charge you a dime to get financing. And we absolutely do not charge any kind of upfront fee either, okay? Lenders sometimes pay us for helping refer the loan to them, but we don't charge you anything, so it doesn't cost you anything for our team to help you. So I love this program. It's awesome. Now, number 10 are corporate credit lines. The way that this works is you use vendor credit to initially build your business credit. You then get store credit cards, and then you can qualify for fleet credit, credit cards, credit lines, all without a personal guarantee and a personal credit check. The corporate credit lines are fantastic because you don't need cash flow to get approved, you don't need credit to get approved, and you don't need collateral to get approved. All you need is to follow the steps to build business credit. You set up your business credibly. You do a quick check to see if you have any credit set up now with creditsuite.com/reports. You do a free check with DNB Equifax Experian. You build 5 initial accounts on your business credit reports. Now remember, you can do this using vendors like Uline, Quill, or you can go back and use this unsecured business financing program to do it too. Remember, these accounts report on your business credit reports, so you could use this to get 5 accounts, because remember, you get 5 to 8 accounts. Or you could use places like Uline and Quill that don't have a personal guarantee, don't have any kind of credit check for approval. These are credit that anybody can get. Once you have 5 accounts, you then start to get high limit store accounts. Staples, Home Depot, Chevron, Sprint, Apple, IKEA. Again, these are real approvals from people on Periscope that actually tell us exactly how much they're getting approved for. We even pull their business reports to verify it. You're getting $20, $30, $40, $70,000 limit accounts at most major stores, no personal credit check and no personal guarantee. Now, when you have about 10 of these accounts, 10, then you can start getting fleet credit to get fuel, to get auto repairs, auto maintenance. You can get also auto vehicle financing to purchase vehicles. You can get Visa cards, MasterCards, and American Express credit cards and credit lines as well with this program. No personal guarantee, no personal credit check at all for you to actually be able to get approved. So a fantastic way to go. All lending, every one of these programs has one of 3 requirements. You either need good personal credit or a guarantor that has one, some kind of cash flow, or some kind of collateral for approval. But number 10, corporate credit lines, you don't need any of those. You can get it as a startup. You don't need collateral. They don't ask you for cash flow verification. You don't need tax returns or bank statements. And they don't even pull your personal credit. You just have to follow the steps. Set up your business credibly. Do a free check and get your DUNS number and see also if you're set up at creditsuite.com/reports. Get 5 accounts through the unsecured business financing program or using vendors like Uline and Quill. Then you qualify for high-limit store credit cards, all of this without a personal guarantee and credit check. And then you get to the final step where you can get credit lines, credit cards, Bank of America, all different types of things. We just on Periscope last week that just followed these same steps and got approved for a $20,000 Chase Inc. credit card without a personal guarantee and without a personal credit check. It takes about 6 months to get the credit lines, but using corporate credit, you can get vendor credit right away, high-limit store credit cards at most major retailers within 60 days, and then within 6 months or less, you can get the credit lines, the Visa cards, the MasterCards, the cash credit. So I'm going to do a quick overview here as we different options to get credit lines. SBA has 5 of them. I know I told you I was only going to cover 10 today, but I'm really covering 14 because SBA has 5 of these. They have seasonal credit lines. They have contract credit lines. They have ones for builders. Okay, you need good credit. You need tax returns for this, but a fantastic option if you have one of both of those. SBA Express, easier. You don't need collateral under 25 grand. You can get a credit line up to 350 and use it for all kinds of things, but they want tax returns and pretty good credit as well. You can get private investor credit lines up to $250,000. 700 credit scores is what they typically want to see, and they're going to want tax returns, but this is easier to qualify for than SBA's cap lines in their express credit line or express program as well. Inventory financing. If you need to buy inventory or have inventory, you can get rates as low as 0.5% and get up to $500,000 in inventory financing. Personal credit does not matter with this, and you don't need to verify cash flow. All you need is the inventory and you can get approved. One of my personal favorites is number 6. Before we get there, unsecured business financing. These are consumer credit cards where you can get 5 to 8 credit cards that report on the consumer credit reporting agencies, and you can get the cash out. They're actual credit lines where you can get the cash out as well. Hello, welcome. You just need a pretty good score to get approved, or a guarantor that has a 680 FICO, and you can get approved. Here's one of my favorite programs. 0% rates for 6 to 18 months. You can get 5 to 8 cards for your actual business, okay? And they report to the business credit reporting agencies. All you need for approval is about a 680 FICO score, a guarantor that has one. And I misspoke. On this program, they'll approve you with even a 650 credit score. Unsecured, this is through private investors, 50 to 150 grand. They're going to want to see a P&L and bank balance sheet and tax returns, but you can get approved with average credit, usually 660, 670 or more. Hola, welcome. Thanks for coming in. Account receivable credit line. Using either account receivables or revenue of 100 grand or more, they come in, they scan your bank account, or they scan, and thank you guys very much for the loves. I appreciate it. They scan either your bank account or your accounting software like QuickBooks, and they'll give you an approval just based on you responsibly managing your revenue. Rates are 0.5%. Every week the money's outstanding, less than 5% by the time the whole loan is paid. And you can get up to $100,000 with this program. So pretty cool. And business credit. Building business credit using vendor credit accounts, store credit accounts. You can then build up to get Visa cards, MasterCards, American Express, all without a personal guarantee and all without a personal credit check. 10 different options. Options even if you're a startup, like number 6, unsecured business financing. Options like number 9, where they don't even do a credit pull and can get you a credit line up to $100,000. Oh, I missed this one, revenue lending. With revenue lending, they basically are giving you an approval based on your revenue only. You can get approved regardless of personal credit. Even if your personal credit's horrible, you can still get approved. All you need is to have consistent revenue. You're typically getting about $20,000 in an actual credit line. It's easier to get than most loans, a little bit tougher than a regular merchant cash advance is. And they'll approve almost any score. A lot of lenders have a requirement of at least 500 or more. So some good options here. You have credit lines and tax returns, go here. If you have inventory, go to number 4. If you have good personal credit or a guarantor that does, come right up here. Build your business credit, get credit lines at 0%, fantastic program. If you have consistent revenue but have credit issues, look into this guy. Fantastic option because credit doesn't matter. Another option's right here where they don't even do a credit check. If you don't have any cash flow credit or collateral, go to corporate credit lines. These guys will get you vendor credit, all kinds of store credit, Visa cards, MasterCards, Amex, all without a personal guarantee, all without a personal credit check. 10 different ways to. So, as I wrap up, I gave you options no matter what your scenario is. Credit's bad, gave you a bunch of options. You're a startup, inventory credit lines, unsecured business financing. A lot of programs we talked about that will work there as well. We talked about options if you have no cash flow credit or collateral using business credit. So all in all, we talked about 14 different kind of credit lines that you can get. No matter what your situation is, we've talked about solutions that can work. Did you miss some of this? Go back. It'll be on Periscope. You can watch the whole thing where we go through in depth all 10 and then we sum them all up. So every Wednesday at 4 o'clock, we're right here on Periscope using either one of that chalkboard, that whiteboard, sometimes this whiteboard. It's all whiteboards and chalkboards in here. So we've got plenty of stuff that we can get in touch with. Somebody's asking, what's our contact? Again, here's our contact information if you want a loan or credit line. Guys, we work with all different kinds of loans or credit lines. And here's how much we charge you, $0. We never charge you a dime. Okay, some lenders will charge fees and rates. Okay, we tell you exactly how much those rates are. We negotiate to get you the best terms. The lenders sometimes pay us a referral fee, sometimes they don't. And then what we do is help you through the whole process without charging you a dime to do so. 877-600-2487. Also, don't forget, if you want more information on building your business credit, we've got a great resource at creditsuite.com/Periscope. Yes, that's correct, Glow6. And thank you for the Super Hearts. Those Super Hearts are awesome. And thank you very much for all the love today. I appreciate it, guys. creditsuite.com/Periscope is a free guide on building business credit. If you're interested in getting a loan or credit line, it's free and it costs you nothing, not even an inquiry for us to tell you all the financing you can get. There's our number, 877-600-2487. You can also visit our website at creditsuite.com. You could even schedule a consultation right here. I will see you next Wednesday at 4 o'clock, where we'll be diving into more topics on how you can get money for your business. All we talk about here on Periscope is a bunch of different ways you can get credit lines, loans, how you can do everything you need to get the most amount of money for your business. And we talk a lot about building business credit as well. We'll be back here at 4 o'clock Eastern time on Periscope. Don't forget to get your free guide, creditsuite.com/Periscope. Don't forget to give us a call. If you want a loan or credit line, we'll talk to you more about all you can qualify for. 877-600-2487. Thank you very much for the loves. It was awesome. It was constant today. I love it. I really appreciate it. I will see you next Wednesday at 4 o'clock Eastern here on Periscope. Glow 6, thank you. And thank you for the super hearts. I love those super hearts. You have a lot of power with those super hearts. You should use them a lot because it looks awesome on my end. So thank you all very much, and I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday at 4 o'clock Eastern. If you missed any of this, go back to Periscope. You can watch the replay now indefinitely. They used to only let you do it for a day. Now you can do it indefinitely. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. See you next Wednesday.